Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I help you upgrade your mindset, money, and more. And today's video is a little different. We're going to have a reflection on 3 questions that I currently have and have been wondering for a while, and I'm trying to figure out, so I might need your help. 3 questions that I have while launching my new business. And I'm really excited to share some of these questions with you because I hope that you can help me. I hope that I can really use this as a sounding board to look back on in the future and say, listen, I had these 3 big, scary questions, these things that I didn't even know where to start when it actually comes to it. But look at me a year, 2 years, 5 years later. I've grown, I figured these things out. And now the questions that I'm dealing with currently in this present day are going to be nothing compared to the questions that I'm looking at solving sometime, hopefully in the near future. So we're going to jump into that right now. I will say I'm not going to reveal the business that I have just yet. I am launching that very soon in the next few weeks. But if you want to get a sneak peek on what that business is, I've left a link down below for you to maybe check that out a little bit. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited to get this launch happening, and it's something I really believe in and I'm really passionate about. So more on that to come very soon. The first question is something new to me because I've currently only owned businesses that are in the digital space. And there's so many reasons why I love digital and online businesses. Number one, you don't have to deal with this question. How can I get affordable products and how can I get affordable shipping? So for the products piece, there's some things that I'm wrestling through, like trying to get listed as a wholesaler. And honestly, I don't really know where to start because I'm not necessarily fulfilling like hundreds or thousands of products initially, right? When you start a business, you're kind of selling 1, 2, 5, 10, maybe 20. And 20 would be a great start when I actually look at it. But I don't have the bargaining power to go into a business and I say, hey, I want 100, 500, 1,000 of your product. Are you able to give me a discount? And we know that when you order in volume, those discounts come and you're able to increase your profit. So that's the first part of that question, is finding affordable products. But the second part is the thing that honestly I am struggling with the most. I live in Canada. I live on the east coast of Canada, and shipping here is ridiculously expensive. And I never knew how expensive it was. And in fact, once I started figuring these details out, I had a friend who's also looking into launching a similar business, or at least a similar business model. And he couldn't believe me that for me to ship across Canada or for me to ship into the US was going to be $20, $30, $40, sometimes even more, depending on who you went with, the shipping provider, and also the restrictions on how quickly you wanted that delivered. And obviously weight's a factor, box size is a factor, and all of those things. So basically what I'm trying to do without revealing my product right now is I'm trying to ship a box. It's got some products. It's a little bit smaller than a shoebox. I guess I can give you the dimensions right now, and it's not going to reveal too much, but we're looking at roughly 11 inches by 9 inches by 3. Right? So just a little bit smaller than a shoebox when you look at it all here. But it's crazy. And that really cuts into your profit margins when you're trying to make a successful business, especially when you're launching it with a small group. You don't have too much wiggle room, right, in order to make profit at all on that product or that service. In this scenario, this is a huge question. And that's why I put it as question number 1, right? How can I get affordable products? And how can I get affordable shipping? Question number 2 is, how many people do I actually need to launch? And this is something that I've wrestled with a little bit over the past few months. I will tell you that you wrestle with a lot of things anytime you launch a new business, but especially something like, what if my audience doesn't even want this? What if my audience isn't even going to support it? I know my audience, I've asked my audience, I've gotten feedback, I've tested and validated the need for this, but still, how many people do I need to make it a successful launch is something that I've kind of wrestled with over the past few months. And for me, I've committed that this is something I'm passionate about, because this is something that the younger version of me, this product that I'm giving people, this is something that the younger version of me would have wanted, or at least would have benefited from, even if I didn't want it, right? So that's why I'm creating this thing. And I'm committed to doing it, even if there's one person that signs up. Our initial launch, I'm calling it our legacy launch, something like that. And people that are going to jump into that in the beginning are going to leave a legacy, because this is something I really believe in, right? This is something that I've put a lot of time, I've put a lot of money, I've put huge amounts of energy into this as well. And I believe in it. So it doesn't matter if one person's showing up, if 5 people are showing up, if 20 people are showing up for that initial legacy launch, I'm there, right? But how many questions or how many people is something that you're always wondering with, because you're being vulnerable as a business creator. You're being vulnerable as someone that's going to start posting this stuff on YouTube, start posting this stuff on their social medias, start sharing it with friends and people they know, and start driving traffic to it through like Facebook ads, for example, right? You're taking a huge risk and wondering how many people are going to step in and step into that journey with you, essentially. And the third question for me is actually huge for me as a business owner, because I know I'm going to have to change some things in order to make myself successful, in order to make this business a success. So the question really is, what do I have to change about myself in order to make this launch and this business a success? And I'm a pretty confident guy. I'm confident in my skills. I'm confident in the knowledge that I have. I'm confident in the network that I've grown and created and fostered, whether it's here on YouTube or it's in real life, right? I'm confident in a lot of different areas in my life. But stepping into this new business is something that has really drawn up this huge idea of imposter syndrome. And I don't like all these like fancy smancy words or reasons or excuses, but I will say that I'm wrestling with imposter syndrome, right? How many people are going to show up to this? Are people going to even want it? Am I even able to figure out how I can ship the amount of product that I want to, if I even find the product in the first place? Right? Are people willing to pay this much for the product, or would they want it to be a lower amount if they don't believe in that product or if they don't support it, right? So I'm wrestling with so many things. And throughout life, when I'm living my day-to-day kind of existence, I am a pretty confident person. There's not much that scares me or frightens me or slows me down in a lot of ways. But when it comes to this business launch, I know there are a lot of things that are just sort of drifting in the back of my head, right? Ultimately asking myself, am I good enough? And this is something that, if you look at kind of my journey of where I've got to up until now and the personal development that I have gone through and the growth that I have had in lots of different areas of my life, that's not something I wrestle with very often. But man, throughout this business launch, it has come up time and time again. And it's something that is a strange paradox, because I know I have the skills that I need to make this a success. And on the flip of that, it doesn't go away. And I'm consistently questioning if I'm good enough, if I'm smart enough, if, right? So it's this weird paradox where I think I'm smart enough and confident enough to recognize that feeling those things is okay. Feeling those things is natural. And I know that I need to push on. But there's been a huge blockage here right now, physiologically, emotionally, mentally, for sure, right? So that's a big one for me. And I'm trusting, I've got faith that I'm stepping into something that is for me. This is actually a business idea that I had about 4 years ago. And I did a quick little sketch up. I designed a logo, did all the basic things that you do anytime you have an interesting idea when it comes to starting a new business, right? People want to sketch a logo, which honestly means nothing. People want to kind of draw a quick sketch or maybe make a prototype, and all those things are awesome. And it's such a fun process. But really taking that thing from ideation into an actual product, into an actual, not a private product anymore. This is about to be a public product that I'm launching, is something that for me, I know I'm excited to see where that takes off and goes. Those are 3 questions that I'm wrestling with currently as I am starting and launching this new business. You might be able to relate. You might have answers for me. And if you do, please let me know what the answers to my questions are down in the comments below. Or do you wrestle with some things when you're in this similar stage of starting your own business? Please go ahead and drop your questions, drop your comments down below. Like this video if it helped, and make sure to click the subscribe button if you want to learn how you can upgrade your mindset, money, and more. Remember, check out the link down below if you want to find out what that sneak peek of this business is. It's good, it's exciting, it's something I'm really passionate about, and I'll talk to you soon.